Well, hello there, YouTube. Welcome to my game room. This has been quite a mess. My game room is in shambles. It isn't even my permanent game room, but I wanted to take you through the process of kind of what I've been going through the last few weeks, maybe a month, of basically moving my game room again. My game room has literally traveled like over 6,000 miles, and this time I am in a temporary game room, and I want to go through a little bit of what kind of happened. So first things first, I didn't think I was going to get a game room for like a while. So I ended up setting up a temporary game space right behind my computer in a very small room. And it was a very, very tight space. And it was supposed to be something that was temporary, but it ended up being more temporary than I thought, to the point where I set it up and it was a waste of time. So I ended up getting my temporary game room, which has been a mess since I got it. And setting it up is always the fun part, but it's also the part that's a lot of work. So I wanted to show you a little bit of the progression of the room and the things that I'm moving in, and kind of my ideas for what I'm about to do for the room and what it probably might look like in the future. But ultimately, having a space in general is just a good thing. In general, it's a blessing. So the fact that I even have a space, although in theory temporary, I am very happy to have it. I am very thankful. But I want to go through the thought process of what I've been doing and what I've been trying to set up to basically create this temporary gaming space with a little less in it. So one of the first things you might notice is the shelf behind me. These are two different shelves that I bought from Amazon for like 38 something. They were on sale, and originally I was really scared they weren't going to be stable, but I ended up loading the shelf up and it did pretty okay. Now, I'm not endorsing buying these shelves and putting a crap ton of stuff on it. I think it's about 30 pounds per square, but in any case, these shelves have been really good for a temporary space, and maybe they're good for you as well. They're very, very lightweight. They're very easy to put together on your own, and they're pretty customizable. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more flexible for a space, not so much like the $100 IKEA shelves, honestly, I can recommend these shelves. They're very good. And so I was able to buy two of them to fill up my entire closet space without having to put holes in the wall. So if you're a renter and you've got a closet space that you're able to either temporarily remove something out of, or you just don't want to put holes in the wall, this is a great thing. And maybe in a few months I can revisit the shelf thing and see if they're doing well still. But in my experience, they are a great size for a majority of the things that you're going to put in them, and you're able to put a lot of games in them, especially if you stack them up like I have. Another thing I haven't mentioned yet is before we moved, the moving truck got pretty full. So I lost pretty much all of my shelving units, like all of them. So I ended up having to start from scratch, and I have a 2 TV setup just like I did before, but this time it's going to be side by side instead of one on top of the other. So I'm going to have an old school TV and a new school TV, and I essentially decided that I wanted to have 2 entertainment centers that were identical to each other that fit a very particular space. And so I ended up just going to Walmart and getting these 2 like TV stands. I think they were like $69 a piece, and they're working pretty well. My game room isn't set up yet. It's still a colossal mess. I'm literally standing in a mess right now. Maybe I'll show you in some B-roll, but things are not quite set up. I'm going to try to have my Simpsons arcade cabinet in the corner. And this is going to be a much more simplistic setup compared to the other. Like, I'm literally putting like 8 totes away, like as soon as possible, of game room items that I'm not going to be able to fit in here. But it's almost kind of nice being able to have less clutter, less things to think about, and more focus on video games. So I'm really excited about that and talking about games that I'm going to be playing over the next year, because this channel has been a lot of variation, but I think in the next year I'd like to hope that I'm focusing more on gameplay considering that I'm not going to be able to customize my game room as much as I used to. So as the evolution of the game room is going on, you know, it started with this room that really wasn't the style I was looking for, and it still isn't. And I have some ideas of some temporary fixes to it. I'm thinking possibly command strips, some brick walls, some stuff like that. So stay tuned for that, for some more like customizable, maybe like rent-friendly game room tips. But after getting it cleaned up, I was able to put some stuff in here. It's been a very slow progression because it's basically just me setting it up, but I wanted to give you guys an update because it's been a couple weeks since I've uploaded, and that literally has been killing me, but I've been really, really busy, and thank you guys so much for your patience. But if you like anything in here or you have a suggestion, please leave it in the comments down below because I am open to pretty much anything. Just understand that this is a temporary space, so I'm not going to be drilling holes in walls. I'm not going to be putting controller hangers up like I usually do, and this is going to be a lot more basic than what I've been doing over the last couple years. So that felt a bit more random than I'm usually used to filming, but hopefully you ended up liking this little bit more of an update. I'm planning on getting back to regular content pretty soon. I've been able to do some pickups, and this coming weekend I'm going to be doing a lot of game hunting, so hopefully a game hunting video is going to be coming up very shortly. But again, like I said in my previous video, if you've got something that you'd like to see on the channel, let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys all for your continued support and your patience. But please, don't forget, there's a pixelated world waiting out there for you.
Oh yeah, it's like a 5-second thing.
Why is the Steam controller not on the periodic table of controllers?
Because it's dog shit.